says it's working. I don't know. Burning up. I've got chills on my legs. Already starting. Okay, can you guys see me and hear me now? I had to shut down my computer. I don't know. I'm burning up right now. It could be spirit energy. I don't know anymore with my life because it's been one of those days. I've had a great day, but I've also had the time where I've been spending 4 hours on this so I could multi-stream. And watch, I won't even have anybody from TikTok. So, sorry about that, guys. You know me, I'm always having technical difficulties. Why, I don't know. It's not Mercury retrograde, but it sure as hell feels like it. So, I'm back. Thanks for finding me again. Oh, Lord. I'm already getting hot here. We have the gatekeeper over here that decided to show up. Oh, Cheryl, if you only knew the day that I had. Like I said, I can't be on here long because I have to take care of the animals. I might come back later to pull for my new cards. But I wanted to talk about Emmanuel because I'm being driven crazy right now about, like, just things that people are saying. Like, I don't know. See my new cards? These are my new Mayhem Rebel deck cards. So I'm super excited to use them with you guys. So, anyways, I can't find my freaking water. I feel ungrounded all of a sudden, too. Like, you guys have no idea, and this is what I've been trying to explain to people, is that I've gotten more sensitive. So even coming on here, talking about cases drains me. That's why I'm not showing cards every case, why I'm not doing auto writes every case. I'm working off camera and then telling you guys what I'm getting because it's taking so much. And I don't think people understand that. Like, it literally, like, just being on here with you guys, I feel ungrounded already. And while I was off, I was getting hot, and I'm getting chills on my legs, so we all know what that means. So, yeah, I don't think you can see comments on the TV. For some reason, I don't know. So, basically, because everybody, I keep getting messages about how Dad said this, Dad said that. I don't give a crap what Dad said, okay? Dad's a liar. It's driving me crazy because I don't know if people aren't listening to what I'm saying, or I'm not saying I'm right, but all I can do is go by what the astrology is screaming, what my cards that align with astrology are saying, and what the rods are saying. Everything is aligning, so you know what I mean? I can't shy away from that. Now, just because someone in prison says, you know, he put him in the trash can, it doesn't mean anything. If we really sit back and think about this, right? Let's really think about this for a minute. Where did he just lead them the other day? He just led them to BFE, to a place where he knew Emmanuel wasn't. Why? Why would he go and tell somebody in prison, oh, I threw him in the trash, and then tell the police something else when he's trying to, what is going on here? What's going on with my computer? When he's literally trying to get a deal and have a confession, right? Now, the chart does point to him as being the one that did it, but it points to her as the person that has disposed of him, okay? She's all over the fourth house in the disposal of it, okay? And if you think about it, in the cards that I pulled, they did not come up as mother and father. They come up as woman and partner. So that tells you a lot about what the cards were saying about their energy. she is trying to cling to this narrative of he was kidnapped. So if we really step back and think about it, right? If you're gonna, like, take somebody on a wild goose chase, take the cops on a wild goose chase, why are you gonna turn around and confess to somebody in prison that you know they snitch, you've been there before, you know how it is, right? There's nothing that puts him in the house. It would have pointed, okay, so that the disposal is where she comes in at. She's all over the disposal. He's over what happened. Yes, they're both lying. But there's nothing in the charge indicate him being put in the trash at the house. And when I was saying trash before, it was because I was getting trash and water. If you guys remember the very first reading, I'm like, trash and water. Is that trash can next to water? What the hell is trash and water? I don't know what trash and water. Hard time seeing where it is, which is really weird to me, because normally if I get a case, I can see where somebody is. So I've had to rely a little bit more on the astrology on this one. And if anybody knows, forensic astrology can be very, very accurate if it's done correctly. But how I'm learning it and who I'm learning it and all of that is pretty damn accurate. So, because it's aligning with my readings, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, where the hell is trash and water, trash and water? So, like I told you guys, I'm sitting here and I pulled a bunch of cards. I got like 3 or 4 different water cards. I got the drainage card, I got the creek card, and the river card. Like, it was trying to tell me flowing water. Like, quit fucking pulling cards. You have water here. Then we have the container. A culvert can be a container, or she could have put him in a container. Then I never pulled the landfill card. You guys, if she would have been in, my cards are freaking accurate, okay? They've been accurate in every case I've ever pulled. They align with my vision. They align with astrology. I use multiple tools to validate things. I don't just give visions and that's it. I'm not a tarot reader, but I like to use my cards that I've made for myself that are freaking amazingly accurate to validate it. So, literally, what I'm trying to say is from the beginning, the astrology chart shows markers of water and trash in the northwest quadrant from Big 5, about 3 to 8 miles out. But 8 miles, you start to get into like the wilderness and stuff, and he's not. There's no forest. There's nothing there to indicate any type of wilderness, right? So he's not in the woods or any place like that. This is pointing to urban land. This is pointing to liminal spaces, like I have posted. So that's never changed. If he had truly been placed in the home trash can, the chart would have shown it differently. It would have pulled towards the 4th house of home disposal, but instead we see her energy all over the disposal point, not his. That's why, fuck the narrative at this point. The cards, the astrology, the rods, everything is pointing to water, liminal spaces, drainage, not a home trash. Every time I pull the cards, I got literally parking lot, golf course, RV, campground. If you guys look at the map, all of that is right there in the spot where she went allegedly from the football game to Big 5. It's all in the same area. What are the odds of that? And I pulled the junkyard card, which is on the other side of Big 5, that I didn't notice before. But that's why I can't go along with this, because the cards, the astrology, and the rods kept circling in the same zone. And I literally asked the rods, and I was expecting to get dumpster, because remember, I'm getting trash and water, and I'm thinking, okay, is it like trash, like adjacent to water? And that's why I tell people, it takes a little bit of time to figure things out sometimes. It's like a puzzle piece that you have to put together, right? So sometimes my mind is like, well, I've never seen water and trash in a chart before. How do I read that? So I'm asking the rods, and I keep being pulled to culverts on the map, and I'm like, interesting. So I ask the rods, and I'm expecting the rods to tell me trash can, dumpster, right? No, I'm telling you, he's not in wilderness. That's what I'm saying. There's no wilderness in the chart. There's no Taurus in the chart. It would read differently if there was wilderness. I posted this, and I'll probably go over the post on the community page because I don't know if people aren't reading it or what, but that way I can cover all my bases of what I'm trying to say, because I'm just posting as I'm feeling things, as people are sending me stuff, and I'm getting madder and madder. So, basically it's pointing to keep circling the same zone. Northwest with water, liminal space, drainage, not a home trash can. It's not pointing to a home trash can. As I was saying, I was holding the rods, and I'm like, where is this physical body? And I'm like, dumpster. I get a no. Trash can. No. I'm, okay, culvert. Let me just say culvert, because I'm drawn to them, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's trash and water. I've got 5 water cards here. It swung yes, or it swung, no, swung yes for culvert. And if we think about it logically, like, what is she saying? She's saying that he was kidnapped. What is she continuing to say? He's kidnapped. So if you've ever found, what can she throw out? The same thing. He was kidnapped. And let's not forget that she was literally seen on camera tossing bags in another trash bin from across from Big 5. That matches the destroying the evidence pattern, but it doesn't mean Emmanuel himself was in that bag. It fits in this direction. And again, he was at the house before that, but she's trying to control the narrative at this point. I trust spirit, astrology, and intuition that keep repeating the same messages over a liar's words that's in a prison cell. Period. He already lied to law enforcement once. Why are you going to listen? Because he could have just said in the beginning, right? If he really wanted to confess to where he was, why didn't he just tell law enforcement, I threw him in the dumpster instead of taking him on a wild goose chase out into the wilderness? It makes no sense. It's because he doesn't know where he is. So if he says trash and they never find him, then there it is. Remember, I'm telling you that he is, so we're not looking for wilderness. You guys understand what liminal spaces is? So let me just, I do it with my freaking lights on. Sorry, something caught my eye. So, again, the astrology and the cards point to the northwest zone, and I even pulled northwest in my cards. I didn't pull any other direction. Northwest is what the cards literally showed. I mean, you can't get any straightforward than that. The astrology is saying it. The cards are saying it. Most likely 3 to 4 miles, because when you go further out, you get, further into the wilderness, which is not what this is showing. The distance marker is kind of symbolic in range because I'm going air miles, so it's harder for me, but there's a catch. The golf course, the campground, the area sit directly on her route. Thank you very much for the super chat. Slightly west, and the cards gave golf course, parking lot, and RV campground. That's why the whole corridor keeps coming up. Now, liminal zone is a borderland space. It's neither one thing or the other. Parking lots, campgrounds, freeway edges, drainage areas, and even culverts all qualify as a liminal space. I pull this liminal space. It's involved in a lot of different cases because they tend to pull it a lot. They're transitional and overlooked and easy for use in hiding something quickly. Why do the culverts matter? Culverts are drainage tunnels under roads or near parking lots. They collect trash and water, which is exactly what the cards and the rod keep repeating. But water carries things further in. Just because someone looks in doesn't mean they don't see anything, doesn't mean that it's clear. I wish you guys that I could really pinpoint the exact location. I spent hours on going over all the culverts the other night. The one at the golf course was the only one that pinged with the rods. Now, rods are not 100%. I always say that, but when I don't know, it's more helpful, or I don't have an idea. I wasn't expecting it to cross there. There's another duality one on the other side of the road. So it didn't tell me any other culverts, but it's hard for me on a map to see every single culvert. The best thing that I can do is give you guys a zone and the strongest markers within it. So that would be the northwest quadrant from Big 5, not from the house, not 20 miles out, because somebody sent me something that said, or somebody posted something like there's 100 golf places. No, there's not. There's one golf place and it's a little west, but we had golf course parking lot. That's why I was like, that's kind of straightforward, right? But I also picked the RV and the campground. What are the odds I'm picking up that whole corridor and with the cards? It's just, I would be picking up home, property, you know, never left, circle back, things like that. I would be feeling the property. But of course, every case is different. So the skeleton boys, I went directly to a basement. I don't always do that. A lot of times I'll see woods, water, trash, whatever, when I first find out someone's missing. Him, I'm having a little bit harder time seeing that for whatever reason. So I was having to rely on the cards, the rods, and the astrology, but they all line up. So again, northwest quadrant on her path, by Big 5, around the golf course campground area tied to culverts drainage. So, you know, it's not about one drain or a hole in the fence, it's about this liminal stretch and why it matches both the chart and the energy. And I don't know why nobody else is believing. Why are people believing this guy? He's already lied how many times? Like, and there's nothing about any sort of, like, different pieces or anything like that or being thrown in, you know, I don't even want to say it. There's nothing about that in the chart. We have Pluto and a couple other things in the 8th house, which we don't have. So, there's some parts I want to talk about for this, really. I don't know. I don't know if the echo's on your part or mine. As you can see, my light went out on my thing, so I don't know if it has to be me or, I don't know if it's me or you. I'm having technical issues with, I think that my mic has died. I think it got killed today. So I don't know how, I don't know how to fix it. It's on my end, it's not showing that. It's showing that I have Mac audio and everything's good. So, I don't know. Honestly, this is the story of my life. So, there was one thing I wanted to say. I wanted to point out. Freaking headache again. Okay, where is it? I never posted it earlier. Because I wanted to talk about, there we go. The logical side of it, right? Yeah, I'm having tech issues. I don't know why. Like I said, I went to court today, and ever since court, my mic's been fine. It worked fine during court. After court, it did this. I have restarted it. I have tried to plug it in different things. I don't know what else to do. I took it out of this thing and plugged it into the computer. So not really sure. And I don't know right now how to fix the setting to put it on my laptop. I probably could, but it probably fuck things up even more with you guys. I mean, I don't want it to be annoying either for you, right? Because it seems like I'm always having issues and it's really annoying to me. Let's see, audio. See if I can, mic. Let's see. I was hoping that would turn it on. Let's try my webcam audio. Can you guys hear me? Is that okay? Is that better? Or no? Because that's the webcam mic. Can you guys hear me better now? That's the webcam mic. It still says it's the microphone though, so I don't know why it's, I don't know. Is that better? Okay. Alright. Okay, so that's my webcam mic. So it looks like I need a new mic, unfortunately. Trista, sorry. I broke the mic again. Trista gifted me this microphone, like, what, it was like a year or two ago. So I broke it. Actually, it wasn't me that broke it. She knows the story. Or what I think happened. Okay. So again, I want to go over kind of the post that I made because I know that not everybody reads the post because I can see that from comments. So if Emmanuel had been placed in a house can, then all the dad had to do was say at the beginning, no reason to lie to the police and lead on a bogus site. The dad's story makes no sense. He takes police on a wild goose chase in the middle of nowhere and then later tells in prison informant, oh yeah, I put him in the trash. If you were truly confessing, why are you going to tell law enforcement? Why don't you tell law enforcement directly? He knows informants exist. Feeding them a different story is classic misdirection. Then we have Rebecca's trash bag theater. If she was on camera throwing random bags at the liquor store, likely, destroying evidence from the house that looks more like a staged performance than a disposal of Emmanuel. Think about it. She wants the narrative to be trash. It plants an image for investigators and the public, but the chart still shows her hand on the disposal in the northwest quadrant. Not just everyday garbage. Rebecca's actions tell her story, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. If Emmanuel had died at home, why wouldn't she have disposed of him at the same time? Instead, she clings tightly to the kidnapping story that only makes sense if his body was moved away from the house to support her cover narrative. Astrology contradiction. If home trash can was true, the astrology would have anchored to the fourth house home disposal. Instead, the markers placed her in the disposal role in northwest quadrant zones with trash and water together. That's why culvert and drainage fits and why a simple dumpster doesn't. It did last a while. Damn it. He allegedly tells an inmate, again, we talked about that already, but why? Because that way he looks like he's come clean when he's talking about, oh, I put him in the trash. Well, still protecting her or diverting focus from the real location. And if he doesn't know, because she's the one that disposed of him, if my gut is right, if the trash was true, it would have been the easiest, cleanest answer the first time instead of we see wild goose chases, staged trash drops, and a story that contradicts the markers. So that's Cheyenne. That's okay. That's why we hold on to what the chart rods showed. Trash, water, northwest quadrant from Big 5. Her hands on the disposal, not just a convenient can-buy home. Why not just the trash can? Because we all kind of thought it when I was talking about the trash, but I couldn't understand the water part. It's too final. If she destroyed everything in the trash can, a landfill, then there's zero chance of her kidnapping story ever surviving. It would make her the sole person responsible. So it's a control mechanism by keeping him hidden in a risky but recoverable spot, culvert parking lot area, because that's a liminal space. The parking lot is considered a liminal space. Golf course is liminal space. Roads, liminal spaces. And I did get the road in a card. She holds the narrative control. If he's found there, then she can still spin it. See, someone took him and dumped him. It wasn't me. It wasn't him. It's a twisted safety net for her life, in my opinion. Otherwise, why still hang to the story? Then we have the narcissistic logic. Dark mother narcissist archetypes, which I've been talking about, right? I've been talking about all the moms that we know that have done something to their kids, allegedly. They all have the same markers in the chart. And I posted that on the community page. I might do a video about it. Often need the maybe. It keeps the spotlight on them. A missing child fuels attention, sympathy, and control of the narrative. If he's forever gone in a trash, she loses that. If he's hidden but not destroyed, she can stretch the lie indefinitely. Fear of being the only one holding the secret. Sometimes they can stomach fully erasing someone, because then that's all on them. Hiding him in a liminal space splits the blame between reality and her story. Why so hard to find? Because the chart showed Neptune deception markers. She wanted investigators, family, and even Jake confused, chasing shadows. Every choice she's made, staging, lying, redirecting, is all about delay. The longer it drags, the more she controls. So it's not that she forgot the trash option, it's that the trash option ends the narrative. The culvert, water, liminal zone option keeps the game alive. She's clinging to the kidnapping story as her shield. So yeah, I don't believe the guy. Okay, I just don't. I don't. Now I might have believed him more if he would have originally said, "Yeah, I put him in the trash can." But you're gonna lead him into the wilderness for what? For what? What was the point in that? You're supposed to be confessing. You're supposed to be taking him to the body, and you take him to a random place in the wilderness. What, to get your deal? But then he's not there, so you don't get your deal. So it makes no sense. So then you say, like, tell an informant. You know the informant's going to run to the police about the trash. And then once they say it's in the trash, they're going to quit looking. I'm telling you, my cards will not show water like they are. Like, in the crazy thing that got me, because sometimes I'll put cards back because I don't understand them. If they pop back out, I'm like, okay, they're meant to be. They're popping back out. The first time I ever pulled the cards, I got in water, and I was like, I don't get that. Because I was taking the trash in the water as, like, the dumpster next to water. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I was taking it in the chart. But like I said, the more I thought about it, and I asked the rods if he was in a culvert, and the rod hit me in the arm, and I wasn't expecting it to say that, but if we're thinking about it, I'm pulling the drainage card, I'm pulling the creek card, I'm pulling the river, it's all flowing water. So, you know, I don't know. I can't pinpoint the exact culvert. All I can do is say that it crossed, yes, on the golf course one, which it doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, that's like so public. She could just throw him down there though, and like no one's gonna climb down there and look. I hate to say it like that, but he's a 7-month-old. You know, he's not big. She could have looked like a bag of trash or anything. You know, that's the thing. So I know it's a horrible thing to think about, but I'm just saying they're not coming across as parents in the chart either. Woman and partner. But I felt her energy more than his for some reason. And I can only think that's because she's behind the disposal. When I'm tracking somebody or trying to, or I'm getting really good at noticing who the dark mother narcissists are. I don't believe a word. I mean, she staged a kidnapping. What else did she stage? And I really think they said that I've heard that she spent a lot of time actually going from the football game to Big Five. I don't know how true that is. And that she was seen dumping trash bags at the liquor store on camera. Again, I don't know how true that is. Doesn't mean he was in it. Because again, water. The water is what's not making sense. Yes, there's trash in the chart, but it's like trash and water. It's not just trash. And so at first I thought, well, is he in multiple pieces? No, there's nothing in the chart to suggest that. There's nothing in the chart to suggest that he's in multiple pieces or anything like that. There is multiple locations that I picked up, but that's because of the moving. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, you know, I use multiple validation tools because it's important to be right. As you guys know, I don't try to send anybody on wild goose chases. I don't like to be wrong with this work because people will sit there and point out all day when you're wrong and forget all the times you're right. And plus, I'm not trying to leave investigators on wild goose chases. I don't send in tips unless I'm pretty sure of like a roundabout area or something. And I don't want to lead searchers in circles either. But unfortunately, I can just give you guys the Northwest Zone. About 3 to 4 miles makes more sense than 8 because I don't feel like she went like... Seems like 8 goes all the way to the freeway air miles. I don't know how many driving miles that is, right? So astrology just gives you zones and they give you, you know, symbols. But the culvert makes the most sense because of all the water cards and all the water. Like, literally, I pulled, like, 4 water cards together. And a pond. And just kept giving me water. I never got a landfill, and I'm telling you, I would have pulled the landfill with my cards if there was a landfill involved. And I was like, that's weird. Like, he'd be in the landfill now if he was in the trash, right? But this whole thing is to get them to stop looking. Yep. And that's the thing, is she's a narcissist and he's a psycho, and they don't care about. Shh, it's okay. It's just a car. Calm down. Hi. Please. Sorry. Kai's been a little barker lately. I don't know what his thing is. Dude, you're not like the boss of the whole house now. I think it's that Chihuahua in him finally starting in. You know, so again, it's urban. It's not. There's nothing in the chart to show like forest or hot springs or anything like that. There's no markers for that. There's no Taurus and all the things that you would see to point that way. So if we had forested land, okay, if there was forested land, it would reflect it. So tied to woods or forests, astrology would show like strong earth markers like Capricorn, Taurus emphasized, Saturn in the fourth, directional lines pointing to natural cover, hollows, caves, trees, roots, national forest markers. The directional houses would also pull towards secluded zones with fewer structures. And that's not what's showing up here. The chart is giving us like trash, dump, dumpster, water, anchor, and edge zone placement, which is urban perimeter energy, not deep forest. The directional astrology pulls again northwest from the anchor. It doesn't go back to the house. It doesn't go anywhere near that, which I'm kind of thrown because I keep getting the work card. I don't understand that. But it's consistent with man-made structure and refuse zones near water or in water, trash and water. But that's why I'm saying I don't think Jake knows. I think he's just saying trash because they'll quit looking and he can be like, okay, they'll never find him. That's my opinion. He wasn't placed out in the woods, and this whole thing is mystery. There's a lot of Neptune in this chart. And that's the same thing with like Jack and Lily. There's a lot of Neptune in that chart. So I've said what I've said on that one because the astrology is pointing to what it's pointing to, and that doesn't change. So I don't even think I have anybody on TikTok on here. This is weird. Maybe it's not doing in the multi-stream. It says it was. I don't know. So that's my take on it. It's been driving me crazy all day because people keep posting under like my reading and stuff. Oh, well, he said trash. Well, yep, they threw him in the trash. Don't take everything you hear at face value, especially from a liar that originally took him out in the middle of nowhere and told him that's where he was. Like, why didn't he just tell him that he's in the trash in the first place? Why waste that time? Makes no sense, in my opinion. Does it make sense to you guys? Doesn't make sense to me at all. So that's basically it, I think. I mean, that's what I think. That's what keeps showing up in the cards is the golf course, the RV park, the campground, because that's kind of where I was going, right? I was going, like all that whole area is what I was looking for culverts in. And the only one that pinged was that one with the rods. All the other ones that I saw. Now, there could be some near the road I'm not seeing because, like, I spend hours on the map and it doesn't take long before I get really tired and ungrounded. And I start to feel things all over a map and it's really hard for me to pinpoint because I can't tell, am I feeling it because of, am I feeling it because of this or that, or am I feeling it because of them? Because sometimes it's not always them. But Spirit's starting to make my eye twitch when I hit on certain things, not always, but sometimes when I hit on specific things or if I hit on a specific area. Yeah, and I am in no way an astrologist, but, like, I'm having help with it, and I'm learning as I go. And actually, I have a plan to make some more cards. I'm going to make forensic astrology cards, and I'm going to make regular astrology cards, and it'll be like a teaching tool, and I'm going to make my own version of tarot that's more straightforward, and I'm going to make the archetype cards that to go along with the true crime deck as a extra deck for people that want to deep dive into cases and perpetrators. I want to actually make that because I would like to use that myself. So I love making cards. It's just they're extremely draining to do and take a long time. And I'm so far behind on my shit right now. It's ridiculous. So, like I said, I needed to come live earlier and try to pull cards and, you know, because it's just that time. And, unfortunately, I've messed with this for like 4 or 5 hours, and I don't even think it's multi-streaming TikTok. I see absolutely no one on TikTok and on the multi-stream thing, so which is weird because it says it is, and I applied and I got approved, and it was just pain in the butt. And I even paid for it so that I could do it, which I didn't want to do, but it was the only way I could do it. And now if it's not doing it says it is. It says I'm on TikTok and YouTube on the bottom, so I don't know. That's what it says. Well, my TikTok's just going right by and not saying nothing, which happens a lot. I don't know, girl. Next time I go live, like, people can pick their cards from the two that I have, because I have the pet card and I have the, like I said, the Mayhem deck, which is like my version of the Rebel deck. So, I already have the pet one. We already talked about that one. I already have that one, so people can choose either or when I do the live thing on it. But, I mean, what do you guys think? And do you guys have any questions? Well, I can answer everything, but, you know, I'm going to have to jump off here and go take care of everything. I'm burning up all of a sudden. That's the other thing, too. As soon as I sit here and I start channeling or talking about cases, I start burning up. That's new. That's new. Yes, it is exhausting, and that's why I was trying to tell people, like, I have so many bitching in the plane and I don't show every card. Look. I was going through and showing every card, but I'm working 2-3 hours before I get on here and show you guys. So I'm working the case, I'm working the cards, I'm working the astrology, I'm working on the maps, right, before I get on here. And it's just too much to do another hour and pull out the cards and show all the cards again. It's too much. I'm trying to conserve my energy so I can do more cases. As you guys see, like, sometimes it takes a big toll on me. Travis Decker took a huge toll on me. It took me down for 2 weeks, and I've never had anything like that happen before, ever. And interestingly enough, they're back at the campground. But, you know, I start getting super hot. I've already got a headache. Like, the energy, because my gifts are shifting, I think, that I'm feeling things a little bit more, I'm a little more sensitive, and my body hasn't learned how to get used to that sensitivity yet. I'm sure maybe it won't always be that draining, but it takes a lot of energy to do this. As soon as I touch the cards, it takes energy. As soon as I touch rods, it takes energy. Like, everything takes energy. As soon as I talk about a case, it takes energy. Like, literally, class, teaching, I'm exhausted afterwards. And I'm just, like, teaching, because I'm also downloading. I constantly am downloading something. When I get hot, it's usually spirit. I'm like getting heat flashes, unless it's menopause right now. I don't know, I'm 43. I don't know, maybe. But, you know, I only get it when I'm talking spirit stuff or I'm working. So, there's some readings, like personal readings, where I feel fine afterwards and I'm not tired, and then we have personal readings where if somebody doesn't, like if somebody's not really high vibration, like they're having a really hard time, but I gotta do mediumship and like a couple people come through, like I have to bridge the gap of their vibration and mine, so it takes me out. I've gotten where I start feeling like this pressure in my head and getting a headache, and I'm getting the headache now, and I don't know if that's you guys, if that's Emmanuel, just the energy around it. Could be everything. I'm feeling super hot, though. That's why I keep drinking water, because I'm, like, uncomfortable. Hot and my head hurts. I have, because I'm very frustrated, I'm frustrated that people are listening to this and buying it, when, like, I'm seeing right through it. Like, I can't see through shit in my own life until people show their colors, but I can see when people are just, like, you know, taking on wild goose chases in cases, like, or something doesn't feel right, or something feels off. And that's why I checked the chart to see if she was behind the disposal, because what got me was, I was like, well, why is he taking them out there? Because everybody started telling me he was found. He was found in this area that was, like, where he took them out, right? The wilderness or whatever. And I'm like, huh? And then I see a thing from the sheriff saying, no, he wasn't found. They just took him out there. And I'm like, well, that's freaking weird. Why? So I'm like, because he doesn't know where he is. Just kind of popped in my head. So I looked at the chart, the astrology, asked some questions, and he's not on the disposal. She is. She's in the disposal. She has her hands and energy all over the disposal in the astrology. He does not. He's the one that did it. She's the one that did the disposal. So, you know, I get frustrated because I don't know if people, like, aren't, I mean, and then you have people saying, well, I looked and there's nothing there. We're talking water, though, guys. Like, you know, even if people search, I don't know if we're going to find them because water. But I can't think that if she wants to run her narrative that she put them too hard to find. But there's nothing that points back to the house in astrology. There's nothing that points back to, in the close to last known location, it would be you're going off of wherever the lie was, right? So, wherever she made everything up, that's what that card would hit to. I don't know what that noise was. Oh, subscribe. Oh, that's... I think that's what that is. I don't know. This is so much different than StreamYard. Like, the whole setup, everything is so much different. And, I don't even see, like, it says, like, I have TikTok and YouTube, but I don't see anybody on TikTok here, so I don't even know if it's working. I'm just trying to make it easier, because it's so hard to find time to stream both, and, you know, you kind of have to do both when you're a content creator, but anyways, I know, but I think I just get frustrated that people are actually, listen, I don't see any gifts, though. But I don't see anybody on TikTok. What did I see, like, TikTok? Hold on, my mom's calling me. Can I call you right back? Okay, because I'm on live. I'll call you right back in a minute. Okay, bye. I gotta talk to her about something. Yeah. So that's where I stand. And like I said, somebody said, well, there's a lot of golf courses. You have to listen to everything else I'm saying. 3 to 4 miles in northwest quadrant. And again, liminal zones, right? Liminal zones of you guys understand what liminal zones are now? Like where one thing meets another. Okay, so we have the road and a culvert, or parking lot and culvert, like, or two spaces like meet, or a boundary of some sort. I tend to pull that card a lot, because there's a lot of things that can be a liminal zone. It tends to happen a lot in cases. But I keep going back to that in the water card that I didn't really take it. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I kind of just put that, Spirit like gave me an idea to like put that out, and I feel like I wasted time on it because I don't think anybody watches them. I was trying to kind of up things on TikTok a little bit, but it ended up being 15 minutes, even though I tried to make it shorter. I tried to make it as short as I could. Like, it took me like 2 or 3 hours to do it. I'm like, I could have done something completely different. I have other things to do. I have offerings to do for people that I owe, Trista and somebody else, so I have to get that done. I have a couple. I have to get some. I just have to get stuff done that I'm behind on. Not to mention chores around the house. So, thanks, Kelly. I put a lot of time into it, and I was like, am I doing this for, like, no reason whatsoever? That's not even everything, but I thought those were some pretty cool moments. And like I said, this case is a little different for me. I've had to lean a little bit heavier on the tools with this one because I'm just having a problem seeing. And I just don't have the energy to do an auto write. I might take a look at the map again and see if I could fill something. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Sometimes a dream will come later, sometimes I won't get a dream. I did with Sebastian recently, but it took a really long time for that to come in like that. So it just depends. Like, I try to tell myself and I try to tell everybody it's all based on timing and fate. Like, just because he's not found doesn't mean that he's not okay, he hasn't crossed anything. There's a lot of Neptune around it. Whenever there's a lot of Neptune, I'm learning, and I've learned this because I didn't understand this before, because there's some cases that I can see really clearly on, and some I can't. Some are really foggy. Taking back to Carly Goose, but now the foggy looks on that, and I think I saw what happened with her, and I'll be getting that out soon. But I have a bunch of cases. The trio, Mora's like way crazy. Goes into another serial killer case. It's nuts. And then yeah, so I just have a lot, and I haven't even been able to keep it with my Patreon either. My Patreon people probably hate me, but so yeah, it's a lot. But I don't know. I couldn't see a whole lot with him, and so you have to understand that babies are on the other side. They're old souls. They're not babies, usually. But that's what I'm saying. I haven't been able to sit down and do like an auto write or anything like that, just because I haven't had the energy, and I feel like it's not going to help much at this point. I don't really need to go into everything that happened. I kind of know it was overkill. I kind of have the idea on what happened to him. It was pretty bad, and I don't need to go into that. And like I said, if we're getting trash and water, we're looking for a culvert. I don't know if I'm going to get anything specific that's going to say, yeah, this one. Other than, like I said, oddly enough, the card said golf course parking lot, which I found was weird. And found it even weirder when the rod said yes to that culvert. But my mind is saying no. So, yeah, the Neptune is there's heavy Neptune and deception in this. And that's what people don't understand, too. Us psychics can pick up on the stories and stuff if we're not careful. I've had it happen in other cases where I've picked up on stories like that happened in Mora. I have to re-put that out because I don't have it straight. But now I do. Or I didn't, but I do now. So, especially, and that's what's going on with Jack and Lily, extreme Neptune in that case. I've just now been able to get a little bit more and get bits and pieces of it. So, that's the problem with this case, too, is that Neptune fog with everything. And that's why people are believing the lies and whatnot, too. So, I'm hoping, sometimes I'll just get hit with a location. So, that's all about timing. That's what I try to explain to people. It's all about timing. Somebody's getting ready to be found, I'll usually get stronger location. I don't have control over what I'm given and when I'm given it or when somebody's found. I think a lot of people have the thought of, oh, you're psychic, you should just know. You should just be able to pinpoint. It doesn't work like that. We can only give what we can give for various reasons. There's karma that has to play out. There's timing that has to play out. That's just the way that it works. Speaking of, karma, my favorite shirt. I always get a lot of compliments on this. This is in my store. But, I thought this was perfect to wear. Karma, not a bitch, she's a mirror today. Very fitting for the day and for this case. So, yeah. That's basically it. But I will continue to update you on what I know. I know I've been posting a lot on this case just because I'm trying to make my point. And then I was like, I need to just do a live on it really quick, because otherwise I'm doing like 5 videos, and because I'll think of something when I get off the video. And, you know, I thought it would be good for you guys to say whatever you wanted to say, or ask whatever you wanted to ask about it. But I think I pretty much covered it. I mean, it was almost like a light bulb went off with the culvert, because I'm like, I don't understand the whole trash and water thing. Like, I could not figure that out. It was like, I didn't see a dumpster, because normally whenever I see trash or a dumpster, I will get, like I do with Quentin, like I'll hear a bottle, we'll get landfill, like sometimes I'll see a literal dumpster, and so it wasn't coming in that way, and there was just a lot of water that I think I even, if I remember back from the beginning, was seeing like just water in the very beginning, but then when we pulled the chart and we saw the trash and water, it threw me. And it's like trash, like a dumpster next to water, but then, like I said, when I asked the rod said no to dumpster, and yes to freaking culvert. And I kept being pulled to culverts, like look at them, all like on the map. So then that's why I asked about it. But, yeah. So, yeah, I have a lot of cute stuff in my merch store. I wish I could move everything from Bonfire, but it would just take too much work. Well, my merch store and my other store, I try to make a lot of cute stuff. So, which I have more ideas, but again, that's something else that takes energy. For some reason, the creativity drains me. Like, I get so drained so easily now on anything I do. It drives me crazy. I start feeling ungrounded, like, I don't know why. Other than I think I'm getting more sensitive, and I think Spirit's trying to give me more precision locations. That doesn't mean it's going to be on every case. But like I said, with the Skeleton Boys, like, I literally was taken directly into the basement, and I kept coughing. Every time I talk about it, I'd cough and I'd cough, and I had to quit talking about it, because every time I even mentioned their name, I'd start coughing like I was inhaling dust. And it was like the sandy dust that you kind of find underneath the house, right? And that was the quickest I've ever been taken to a location. I didn't know nothing about the case. As soon as I tapped in, bam, that's where I was. Or a crawl space, basement crawl space, something like that. Definitely under the house. That's where it came. So then we checked the astrology, and it completely aligned, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me, because I've never had it come that fast before. And I've always thought, because I haven't got a lot of locations that are on property or at the house, and so I've always thought, am I really going to pick it up? Puppy. I said, am I really going to pick it up if it's not, like, in the woods or water or, you know, someplace like that? Because I don't get that a lot. And, yeah. So that's why I'm trying to, like, because I do a lot of work off camera, and then I just tell you guys what I get. Like, that's the best way for me to do it, because there's no noise, you know what I mean? It's just, that's, in my opinion, that's the most accurate way to do it, because I'm not dealing with the chatter or anything like that. And obviously I can't, no offense, trust sitters anymore. Plus, sitters can muddy the waters without meaning to. They can give more information when they're validating, and or give wrong information and lead you astray without meaning to. So I've noticed that before. Even though I do great with a sitter, because that's how I get private readings for cases, it worked good, like for Idaho 4 and stuff. But then you never know when someone's gonna go crazy on you, or or you never know when you know, you're going to be led in the wrong direction from it, or people can't keep their mind clear or whatever. So that's why I don't really like to do it like that anymore. Auto writing is great, but it does take in a lot of energy as well, and sometimes it does, it's so deep that I can, you know, pick up other cases that can get a little confusing, and a lot of people don't understand that, because I'm reading blueprints and energetic blueprints in like similar cases and similar, you know, and that can get a little confusing. So as much as I love auto writing, sometimes it even confuses me. And there's been times where I've picked up, has been more accurate with the cards and stuff than the auto writing, because the auto writing is taking me to another case sometimes, or bringing in threads. So, but they can still be very accurate. Just depends. So yeah, that's it, I think. But you know, I need people like I said, she was upset I wasn't showing the cards. Like, I'm not a tarot reader. It doesn't matter. Like, they just became kind of a validation tool. And yes, I will show them because I love them. They're the cards that I made. But it just takes a lot of energy to sit here and show everybody the cards for, like, you know, an extra hour when I can do 2 cases at the time. And I'm backlogged with all my cases. Like, I have so many cases I've worked on that I haven't even told you guys about. And like I said, my Patreon, I'm backed up on there. I love the people that support me there, even if they don't get something all the time. That's wonderful, and I appreciate it, but I feel guilty about it. So I'm really trying, but I'm only one person. I'm constantly go, 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 and I feel like I get nothing done. So, I don't know. Too much, I guess. Too much on my plate. So, anyways, that's about it. Yep. So I guess I will get going then. I don't know how this works because it literally says that we are streaming from 2 places, but it's not showing any TikTok people. So I'm so confused on that. It's really weird. It's really weird. So I don't know if this is working. I don't know if somebody wants to run to TikTok and tell me if it's working. Because I think I tried this before, and I couldn't get it to stream over there. It says it's streaming over there, but I find it weird that no one's talking. Kind of weird. But maybe not. I don't know. So, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the love, support, and everything. You know, it does help me keep going. So I do appreciate you. I just need you guys to know that, okay? I appreciate you guys a lot because, you know, without you guys, I wouldn't have this channels, you know, and then without spirit in you, I wouldn't have this channel. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you accepting me and all my quirkiness, even when I decide to sting with my Scorpio midheaven, or get obsessive over a case. So people don't understand. I'm constantly I wake up working. You know what I did before court this morning? I was looking at the chart for Emmanuel. Like I woke up and I started like working for the little bit of time I had before I had to do that. So that's what I'm doing. Always messing around. I was like trying to work and stuff while I was doing the floor in the laundry room. You guys only knew. So alright. I gotta go. I gotta go take care of everybody. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon because I have to. So I'll see you soon. Everybody have a good night. Be safe out there, and I hope